Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Brendan and welcome to AussieMotoVlogs. Today I will be giving you my 3-year review on my bike. If you're unaware, I am currently riding a Kawasaki Ninja 650. Now, I have had this bike for, as I said, 3 years now, almost going on to 4, but I am upgrading soon, about in November. So, spending my last few days, or weeks rather, riding my baby right now. So, without further ado, let's jump into this review and I'll tell you everything you need to know about it. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to talk about is that this bike is perfect for a beginner. Now, I bought this bike private, so I had the full power of the bike from the get-go. Now, there's some debate whether or not that's good. I think it was good personally, because really it was kind of safer for me, especially in traffic. Get away from cars quicker. I think it's safer. But yeah, I had the full power from this bike from the get-go, and to this day, 3 years later, I still have not used the full power of this bike. Like, when you get up the speed, you can tell that there's still a little bit more give to it. But obviously, I don't want to get booked. I don't want to lose my license. You know, cops already look at motorbikes a little bit harsher, I think. So, you know, I don't want to give them an excuse if I can help it. So, yeah, this bike, I think it's plenty powerful for... It's a great commuting bike. That's what I can sum it up to. When it comes to like just commuting to work, to the shops, whatever, this bike is absolutely perfect for that. Now, seating position, it can be a little cramped if you're a bit of a taller bloke. Now, I'm just like ever so slightly shorter than Dean, so I think I'm a 6'1", I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so me personally, I fit quite comfortably on this bike. So I don't think that if you're a little bit taller, because I know Dean has an issue where he feels cramped on this bike. So yeah, that can be a little bit of a pro and con. We'll do a side-by-side of me sitting on the bike versus Dean sitting on the bike, just because of that small little height difference. It does make a big difference. And as you can learn, obviously, a bigger bloke as well. And this bike is, honestly, it has some good give to it still. Let's just wait here and not die. But yeah, it holds my fat ass pretty well. The only issue with being a bit of a heavier bloke like me would be if you're like on your L's or P's or anything, you will burn through plates, like your P plates and that. You will burn through them like there's no tomorrow. I have lost track of how much money I've spent on just buying P plates. Like, it's honestly a bit of a joke. But yeah. The only thing that I've changed since owning this bike is the mirrors. The mirrors now are a lot more further back and out. The original mirrors, I think I still have them in the garage at home, but they were a lot more upright and you couldn't really see behind you. As I said, I did have to replace the mirrors. It was an intentional choice. I did actually end up dropping this bike at some point, but that was to my own stupidity. So I had to replace the mirrors. I was going to consider getting bar end mirrors, but they got these little caps on the end there. They're actually kind of hard to get off, and I kind of gave up on trying, to be honest. I still have my bar end mirrors, but yeah, straight up just gave up on trying. Yeah. Either I didn't have the right tools for it, or I just didn't understand how to do it. It was one or the other, maybe both. But yeah, so if you get this bike stock, I would highly recommend changing the mirrors, especially if you're like a little bit of a bigger bloke. Because my original mirrors, the only thing I could see was like the corner, pretty much, because I took up the rest of the frame. If you're a skinnier bloke, maybe it'd be better for you. But I'm not too sure, to be honest. But when it comes to comfort on this bike, for the longest time I did have one issue with my knee. And I think it was just because I wasn't used to being like cramped up a little bit more than normal. And yeah, so it actually kind of caused a bit of a problem in my knee. Like my knee would start to ache really badly and start cracking and popping and this, that, and the other. And it was not a fun time to be dealing with, that's for damn sure. But oh, over here. Had to. That's the sound of my people. Moving on, the next thing I'd like to talk about is the controls. Now, if you're looking at like the MT-07, like Dean currently has, their controls are really, really goddamn small. And having these types of gloves. Ooh, somebody's fucked up. Let's just not draw any attention to ourselves. Thank you very much. Lucky, because I was about to gun it through here. Oh, didn't see that hole. So yeah, well, these controls with these, especially like thick winter gloves like I do, or just thick gloves in general, the control sizes, they're pretty big considering. And it doesn't get impeding or anything. It did take a little bit of time getting used to. So when I first ever started riding, I always kept hitting the horn over and over and over again. But yeah, the button to turn off the blinkers, it's easy to push in. So yeah, the control system is very, very, very simple. And yeah, I think it's very user-friendly, 100%. But I think that's what makes it a perfectly great beginner bike. When it comes to like the smaller controls on bikes, I think if you're not already used to riding, you'd have a lot more issues like hitting the wrong input. And obviously you don't want to be sitting at lights or anything and you turn on your blinker and you honk somebody in front of you and then you just look like a dick. Another thing I'd like to go over as well that I absolutely adore on this bike, like now that I've gotten used to driving a manual, so to speak, would be the bite point. So the bite point on this bike, if you can see, hopefully you can, is there. That is literally it. So yeah, it doesn't give you much room to mess up. So yeah, that is where the bite point is. It's just like an inch out. So like when your fist is closed, it's probably like that much. It's not even that big of a motion. So do that again, and when I start rolling forward, I've hit the bite point. So yeah, bite point on this bike, it is easy as hell to find. And I really appreciate that about this bike. That's why when it comes to like perfect example is Dean's MT-07. the bike point's like all the way out, and that's so strange to me. Because as you can see, my bike point is like instant. Oh, let's not die here. This is all gravelly road. So I can really appreciate about that. I can really appreciate it for this bike. That's for damn sure. I think I don't like, because I've mentioned that on the Benelli video when Dean still had that, was there is no indication of what gear you're in on this bike. This is a 2013 model, 2014 model, and there is no gear indication on this bike. There is fuel, but that's it. So I have a bad habit of actually forgetting what gear I'm in. Maybe on the newer models. Oh, almost stalled. That hasn't happened in a while. Still getting used to these gloves. I haven't been riding much, so we have had some pretty bad weather down here. Down under. But, well, I picked like the worst road to ride. So another thing that I would like to talk about on this bike is your actual foot pegs. So like your, to change gears and your brake. Dean has an issue with it, I don't. And that is the actual size of the levers themselves. Dean thinks they're too small. I don't know that because I'm used to it at this point. I can't remember if I didn't like that, but I'll show you if you can see. It is basically that big, like the gap in between my peace sign just here. It's basically that big on both sides. So let's see if I can do this for you. So you're basically like that, and then you just slip under and pull up. But yeah, Dean thinks that they're too small. I don't have an issue with it personally. I think they're the perfect size for this bike. So another thing I want to add on before this video inevitably comes to an end, and that is, this seat is not actually the best for like long distance riding. So it's very noticeable when we're doing like bikes and we have to travel like hour and a half, so on, to a location. Now I'm not sure if it's just because I'm a bit of a bigger guy, but the seat is not really that comfortable for that long a ride. Like your cheeks start to become numb, and not like the numb where you can't feel anything. It's the kind of numb where you're in a lot of pain. So a lot of the time in some videos you'll see me actually like stand up for no reason, and that is like just that. So like that's just to get like the blood flowing again, because yeah, the seat is not the best for long distance riding. It takes its toll on your ass, that's for damn sure. But oh, let's go. Oh, okay, let's just duck around here then. If I was to recommend this bike for like long distance traveling, I wouldn't do it. 100% I would not do it. You'd need like I've seen them around. It's like a cushion kind of thing that goes under your seat. I've never tried them. I don't know how effective they are, but if I was to keep this bike permanently, I would probably look into that. Just because, yeah, this seat is not great for long distance riding. As I said, it's great for commuting. So like to work, from work, yada yada yada. Perfect for that, because you're not riding for such a long period of time. Let's let these people through. The thing that I am noticing currently with this bike, it's always bothered me a little bit, and I think that might be why my ass hurts, is the seat itself is actually very vibrating. So like cruising around just like this speed, the seat is vibrating so much that like it it kind of adds to that whole numbing and added pain feeling that comes with it. So maybe that cushion thing that I mentioned might fix it, I'm not too sure. But I'm sure that the question that you're after the answer for, is this bike good for me? I don't know. You won't know till you sit on it, really. I've always wanted this bike, so when I sat on it, I kind of loved it instantly. And yeah, as I said, it's a perfect beginner bike as well. Like, it's a bit heavy, like, I'll give you that. It is a pretty heavy bike. So, like, your what's the word? Like, your smaller movements, like U-turns and like 20Ks, etc., can be a bit hard to do just because it is very like the center of it is very, very heavy, and it's very hard sometimes to maintain control, especially if you are a brand new rider. And a lot of the time, because you're in more of a I consider this bike sort of a mix. So it's sort of like a sport bike, but not so much of an aggressive stance where you're like, I'm ready to like attack the road. Like, this is very much more of a laid back kind of seating position. So as you can see, like, I can sit up perfectly straight and it's comfortable. I'm not like hunched over. But you can be at the same time. So if you want to just like dip down a bit, you can. I prefer riding in a more upright, comfortable position. But you have the option to alternate between where you are going to be riding from. The default, I guess, would be more like this, more of an upright kind of position. But I think that just adds to the whole overall experience of this bike. In that it's a sport bike, but it's comfy. Like, you're not hunched over, you're not going to have back problems by 30. You might have a knee problem though. But after a while, as my knee actually did stop hurting after a while. So maybe I just got used to it, I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, that will conclude this review. I would highly recommend this bike for a beginner. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. We'll try to respond to as many as we can. And yeah, stay tuned for those 5 things I like and dislike. I'll add some things that I may have forgotten there. And yeah, I shall see you in the next video. Until then, take care, and I'll see you when I see you.